Unit 8, Day 4, Slope Intercept Form, Day 2. Now, obviously you notice that we have 2 days of this one topic because this is one of the most important things we're going to talk about all year. Okay, it's a big topic on the EOC, and it's a big part of Algebra 1. Okay, and even carrying on to Algebra 2 and beyond, this is one of the most important things that you'll have to come back and remember. Okay, so to begin with, these first two are really just a review of what we did yesterday. Okay, so we see that on number 1 we have slope equals 4, b equals 6, and we want to know the equation. Okay, so we have to recall that we have y equals mx plus b. Okay, where b is our y-intercept, okay, which I almost always write as a point. And so you really need to write it as a point whenever you're asked for it. It needs to be a 0, comma something. Okay, and where our m is our slope. That is why it's called the slope intercept form, because of the two things you get out of it. Okay, so if we write in that form, we get y equals m, which in this case is our slope, 4x plus 6. Okay, and so when we start graphing that, the y-intercept is always our starting point. So we start at 6. There's our point. Now, 4 means we either go up 4 to the right one, or we go down 4 into the left one. And those two are really synonymous. Okay, so in this case, if I try to go up 4 and over into the right one, I cannot do it, so I'm going to have to backtrack. I'm going to go down 4 and to the left one. Although I just went 2, down 4 over 1, down 4 over 1, down 4 over 1. Alright, and if I take my line, my straight edge, should go through all those points. Put our arrows on it, and there we have it. Now, if you notice, our slope, it says it's a positive slope, right? It's positive 4 up there. Okay, so that is indeed increasing going to the right. Okay, also, a slope of 4 actually is pretty steep. It's bigger than 1, so it's steep. We'll talk about it more in chapter unit 11. And 6, the y-intercept is right there, 0, comma 6. All right. All right, so next we can go backwards at this. Let's see. We need to find our slope and our y-intercept in the equation from the graph. So first thing I want to look for is the y-intercept. It's that point right there. And it's exactly that. It's a point. All right, so I'm going to write the point 0, comma, -3. Now I've noticed some of you still are not writing those as points. Okay, I'm only going to say that so much until I just take off for it. Okay, it is a point, 0, comma, -3, with parentheses and a comma included. All right, now to find the slope, I need another point. Okay, so I'm looking at my graph down here. I have 0, -3, and then I'm looking for a perfect point. I see a couple. One of them I see is right over here, -3, -2, and I see another one over here at 3, -4. Now, it does not matter which two you use, but I'm going to use these two over here. So my rise is down 1, my run is over 3. Now again, if I notice here, my slope, my line is going down and to the right, so it is a negative slope. So automatically, I know I need to have a minus sign there. But it's -1 divided by 3, so -1/3. So my equation then is y equals -1/3 x minus 3. And if we have time today, I'll show you how we can type this in the calculator. Okay, if you haven't done that before, we can type this in the calculator and actually check this. But there's no way to really just figure this out. Okay, you have to think about it a little bit at least. All right, so hopefully up to this point we are just like, all right, great, I got this. Okay, because this is a review from yesterday. All right, so number 3, we get different directions. Put each of the following equations in slope-intercept form by solving for y. Identify the slope and y-intercept. Now, I'll continue saying this. Y-intercept is going to be a point. y-intercept is going to be a point. If you do not put that as a point, expect to have points taken off. Okay, so I need to get y by itself because I want slope-intercept form. So I need to get y equals mx plus b. Alright, so if I want y by itself right here, I need to subtract 4x from both sides. Okay, just like I said yesterday, like oil and water, these cannot go together. 26 minus 4x can't go together. So I get negative 4x plus 26. They spread themselves back out. Alright, so negative 4x, and we get 2y down here. Alright, so is y by itself yet? Y is not by itself, so I have to divide by 2. Everything by 2. Back to blue, so I get y equals negative 2x plus 13. So my y-intercept is that point right there, so it's 0, 13. 0, 13. Now my slope is negative 2. Okay, my slope is a number. It's not a point. It doesn't have an x in it. Okay, it is just a number. A number that tells you how steep your line is. So in slope-intercept form, well, we actually have it right there. There it is in slope-intercept form. Y equals negative 2x plus 13. Okay, as I said yesterday, we're going to have plenty of practice solving for y, so we should start feeling pretty comfortable with it here after a few problems here. But yeah, it's going to keep coming. Okay, so don't expect this to just slide off and you can get away with just not being able to do it. No, you will not be able to get away with it. All right, so 4, I want y by itself. Let me go back to my blue. I want y by itself. So I have to actually use the opposite. I'm going to add 3. Now over here, I'm going to add 3 over here. Those two can combine. They're like terms. Okay, so I get y equals 2/3 x plus 7. Because I can add it to both sides. I don't have to add it to every term. So there it is in slope-intercept form. So y equals 2/3 x plus 7. Now the y-intercept is that point right there, so it's 0, 7. The slope is 2/3. And there we are. Number 5, we want to get y by itself again, so I want negative 9y boxed in. I need to subtract 3x. Okay, like oil and water, these two just fall to the side, so I get negative 3x plus 27. And so I get negative 9y. So fair enough, I want y by itself. So I need to divide by negative 9. So I'm going to divide everything by negative 9. So I get y equals negative 3 divided by negative 9 is actually 1/3. 27 divided by negative 9 is negative 3. So my slope right away 1/3. My y-intercept is a point 0, negative 3. And it's already in slope-intercept form. Okay, so I already have it in slope-intercept form as y equals 1/3 x minus 3. Now, I've said this a couple of times in the past couple of days. The x is necessary, okay, in the equation. In the equation, if you don't have the x, it's not a line. Okay, it's not a line in slope-intercept form. However, if you have an x right here, that's not right either. Okay, you cannot have an x next to your slope. Your slope is just a number. Okay, let's keep moving, keep trekking. Write the following equations in slope-intercept form. Graph the linear function. All right, so very first thing, we have to get it in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to box in my y, and I have to subtract 4 from both sides. Those two can't go together. They're like oil and water, so I get 3x minus 4. Well, that makes my job easy because that tells me, since it's slope-intercept form, my y-intercept is 0, negative 4. My slope is 3. And my equation, y equals 3x minus 4. Okay, so on my graph, I started my y-intercept, my negative 4, on the y-axis. 3 is my slope, so I get to go up 3 to the right 1, or down 3 to the left 1. So I'm going to go up 3 to the right 1, up 3 to the right 1, up 3 to the right 1. Okay. Now, if you look at my equation, it appears I immediately have a line with positive slope. My equation, positive slope. Starts at negative 4, starts at negative 4 in our graph. All right. I'm sure we're ready for another one. We want y by itself. Okay, we get lots of practice with this one, with this assignment. Okay, since we've been talking about this already, we've done it for a couple of days. We get some more practice. So I'm sorry, I'm not really talking to you a whole lot. I'm really doing this more as a here are problems, work them. Let's see what we can crank out here, and see if we can. Now, as we go, as always, okay, I do these for one reason and one reason only, and that's for you to understand things better. So these are more examples for you to go back and look at if you need to. And also a way for you to identify mistakes that you might have made. Okay? Hopefully all of your answers are perfect. But 99% of the time, we're making little mistakes. All of us are going to be making little mistakes, and we just want to get better at it. So let's carry on. So I'll try to be more entertaining. If I think of a math joke spontaneously, I will tell it to you. And I can think of a couple right now, but you may not get them too well. So I'll see if I can come up with one that's funny. All right, so I want to get y by itself for my slope-intercept form. So I have to do the opposite, add 3x. Those two are like oil and water, so we can't put them together. All right, so I get 3x plus 30. 3x plus 30, and then over here I have 15. Ooh. 15y. Y is not by itself, so I have to divide by 15. Okay, now as I pointed out yesterday, this is kind of like the distributive property in that you have to divide 15, grab a different color, you have to divide 15 into both of these. Okay, so 3 divided by 15 will actually give you 1/5, which is actually good because we're talking about slope. You automatically have an x right there. 30 divided by 15 is 2 plus 2. So there's our line in slope-intercept form, our equation. So y equals 1/5 x plus 2. All right, so in that equation we have our y-intercept of 0, 2. And also, this is a positive 2, we get to start our graph right here. Now we've got a slope of 1/5, which means with our graph we're going up 1, that's our rise, and that's our run. Okay, so that's our run. So we go up 1, 1 and over 5. So there's our second point. Or I could always go down 1 and to the left 5. Okay, so I have 3 points that are actually in a line. Okay, pretty darn close to those points. Put our arrows on it, and we're finished. All right, number 8. All right, I like this one because we can get y by itself real easy. We want y by itself, so we'll have to subtract x, do the opposite, because that's a 1x, so we have a minus 1x. And just because those two have the same number in front of them, they are still like oil and water. You cannot mix them. No matter how hard you try, you cannot mix those two. So you get negative 1x minus 1. And there's y by itself. So there's our equation. Okay. By the way, I'm going to write that understood 1 right there because that's going to help me keep up with what I've got. So y-intercept is 0, negative 1 is a point. Because I go 0 to the left and right, down 1. Now I've got a slope of negative 1. So that means that's like negative 1. It's like negative 1 over 1. Down 1 to the right 1. Down 1 to the right 1. Or up 1 and to the left 1. Okay. And there's our line. Make sure we put our endpoints on it, and then we have our y-intercept as a point. And that's a lot of the common mistakes right there. Okay, 9. Again, this one is nice. We can get y by itself real easy. Want y by itself, so we have to add 4. So we get 4. Because those actually can put together. 0 plus 4. They're just two numbers. So y equals 4. Okay, now something seems wrong with this. Two things I want to point out. One, I could write this, this is optional, but I could write this as y equals 0x plus 4 because that's just 0, right? So it's like that isn't really there. I could do that. Or I could recognize that this is actually a y equals line. Y equals line, so it has 0 slope and it's horizontal. Hoi bucks. So the slope of this one is 0. The y-intercept is going to be 0, 4. It's going to be a horizontal line going through 0, 4 right here. So there is my line. Hoi bucks. Okay. Numero 10. 10. Yeah. All right. Number 10. Y by itself. This is the name of the game. By the way, I keep not saying that, but that's really what we're doing. All of this. So far, every one of these problems, we had to get y by itself. That is a big deal. Okay. This is why we spent so much time solving equations. So much time on formulas, okay, just actually getting variables isolated, because that's what we're having to do all here, okay. There's really nothing to it once you realize that. Divide by 2 on both sides, and we get y equals, let's see, that's a negative 1x. Okay, so that's negative 1/2 x. Okay, so I'll write that right down here. Optionally, you could write that as negative 1/2 x. Oh, come on. Negative 1/2 x plus 0. Because when there is not something on the edge here, when there's not something right here, it starts at the origin. Okay, so our intercept is 0, 0, the origin. Our slope is negative 1/2. And our equation, of course, is y equals negative 1/2 x. So when we're graphing, we will start at the origin. Okay, and our slope is negative 1/2, so that means we can go down 1 to the right 2, or we can go up 1 and to the left 2. So I'm going to go down 1 to the right 2, down 1 to the right 2, and I get a line right about there. Smack the arrows on it, and we're done. Okay, number 11, y minus 2x equals 6. As always, I want y by itself. So what have I got to do? I need to add 2x. We have another oil and water situation here. 2x plus 6. And those are a zero pair, so we get y by itself. So there's our equation. Y equals 2x plus 6. So our y-intercept is 0, 6. Our slope is 2. That's a positive 2, so it's going up 2 into the right 1. So let's put a point down here at 6, positive 6. So I'm going up 2, and to the right 1, or down 2 and to the left 1. Down 2 to the left 1. Down 2 to the left 1. So I get these points right here. And there we are. Put our arrows in the line, and there we are. Okay. Now number 12 has a trick up its sleeve. Okay, this is kind of backwards. We want y by itself still, so we'll subtract 4. We cannot put those two together, so we will get negative 3/2x minus 4. We got y by itself, so y equals negative 3/2x minus 4. Let's see. 2x minus 4. So that means our y-intercept is 0, negative 4. Our slope is negative 3/2. And when we graph this, we'll start down here at negative 2 or negative 4. We'll go down 3. Can't do that. 2 or up 3. To the left 2. So up 1, 2, 3 over 2. Up 3 over 2. And that's all the points we're going to get for this one. Okay. Put our arrows on it and we're done. 13x plus 3 equals 0. Now something feels funny here because we can't get y by itself because there is no y. But what we can do, a nice little compromise, is getting x by itself. If we wanted x by itself, what would we have to do? Well, we just subtract 3. 0 minus 3, those two actually go together. We can put those two together. We get negative 3. And we get x. X equals negative 3. There's our equation. Alright, now two things you could realize. One is you could realize, I don't know how to do this. Okay, I can't graph this. I don't know what to do with this. Okay. The other thing is, I much prefer this one. Okay, it's much better than giving up. Is recognizing that we have an acronym for this one, BUX. It is an x equals line. So it's undefined slope, and it's a vertical line. So it's undefined, undefined, in the words of Slope Dude. Watch out for cliffs, kids. especially when you're skiing. And let's see, the vertical line going through -3. X equals -3. Vertical line going right through there. Alright, so there's our line. So the y-intercept, where it hits the y-axis, well, there isn't one. So never throw up your hands and this is a give up. Think about something you already know, something we've talked about. If necessary, go back to your notes. In fact, even if it's not necessary, go back to your notes because they're usually pretty darn helpful. All right, almost there. We had one of these yesterday, actually, and you guys wanted to have this in multiple steps. So we're actually going to be able to break this up into multiple steps. We have a little bit of space here. So what do we want by itself? Since we get the choice, I want 5y by itself. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of this x. I don't like having -3x there, so I'm going to say plus 3x. Now I've got to do that to both sides. Now those two, like oil and water, can't put them together, so I get, let's see, that's a 0 pair. So I get 5y plus 25 equals 3x. Y is still not by itself. I need to subtract 25. I have another oil and water situation. I cannot put those together, so I get 5y equals 3x minus 25. Y is still not by itself. So I need to divide by 5. Okay. Now, sorry, I'm going to have to cram this down here. I'm going to get y by itself. 3 divided by 5 is, well, 3/5. Put that in there. 3/5 x. Negative 25 divided by 5 is minus 5. So our y-intercept is 0, -5. Our slope is 3/5. So I'll start down here at -5. And I'll go up 3 to the right 5. Up 3, right 5. And it looks like that's going to be the only point that I can put down there. So try to draw a line through those two. And not exactly. Let's see if I can do a little bit better. That's a little bit better. So put our end caps, our arrows on it, and we're good to go. Last, certainly not least, one that gave you guys a little bit of trouble yesterday. We want y by itself still, so we subtract 6x. Alright, so I get y equals -6x, or I could write -6x plus 0. Okay, there's a reason why I might want this one, because my y-intercept in this case is 0. So 0, 0. My equation, 6x. Regardless, it still goes through 0, 0, and my slope is -6. Okay, so let me identify my slope here. I get -6, so that is either down 6 and to the right 1, or up 6 and to the left 1. So first I'm going to start at 0, 0. I think I can actually fit both of these on there. I can go down 6 to the right 1, or I can go up 6 to the left 1. Those are the only 3 points I can put on this graph, actually. Let's see. That line actually fits pretty darn good. Alright, so now that we've had a good, quick, hopefully review of how to do this, how to graph these lines using y equals mx plus b, and we've also reviewed the greatest song to go with slope intercept form ever, go on and make sure that you've corrected your mistakes, that we are all on the same page. If you've got any questions, stop me please, okay, stop me while I'm in class, put a comment on this, or send me an email, something. Let me know that you're having trouble. That way I can know to come before or after school and help you out. So let's get to this.